What's up, everybody?
What's up? Dr. Maxfield.
Dr. Shah. Today, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about acne. And you're like, wait, yeah, we talked about acne before, but we're talking about what not to do with acne.
Yeah, so acne is a big topic. Always things to say about acne. This is the do not do list of acne. 5 biggest mistakes that we see people making with acne and why their skin's not improving. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna tell you why. Here we go.
Here we go. All right, you've got number 1. What is your number 1 tip for what not to do with acne?
Okay, so with acne, one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is that they're not actually using an active ingredient that fights acne. I know a lot of people have great skincare routine. They send me their list of skincare products and, it's a good skincare list. They bought the CeraVe recommended cleanser. They bought the CeraVe recommended moisturizer. They're following good advice from good people, but they actually don't have an active ingredient that fights acne. And if you don't target the underlying cause of acne, which we talked about in our prior video, so if you guys haven't seen that, we talk about what causes acne to form. If you're not actually going after one of those causes, you're really not going to see improvement in your acne. And so the 4 ingredients I recommend at least having one of these in your skincare routine to fight acne. If you really want to see progress with it, it's going to be a retinoid, vitamin A derivative, something like Differin, or the La Roche-Posay one that has adapalene in it, salicylic acid, also known as beta hydroxy acid or BHA, azelaic acid, which is a great one for pregnancy, or benzoyl peroxide, which is an antibacterial agent. So if you use one of these ingredients, you're definitely gonna see progress. We have other products that we can give you at the dermatologist office that are a little bit stronger, a little bit more effective. But over the counter, if you wanna try treating your acne at home, go for one of these first.
Definitely the place to start. The nice thing about salicylic acid is it concentrates within the oil glands. It's lipophilic, means what? It just can dissolve in oil. That was one of the things that makes that beta hydroxy acid unique.
Right, so it's really the only beta hydroxy acid that we use in skincare regularly. The other acids that we're using are mostly alpha hydroxy acids as far as your glycolic acid, lactic acid, citric acid, but those tend to be a little bit less effective for acne, even though they will kind of break down comedones because they have that keratolytic or the ability to break down keratin. But they're not going to be nearly as effective as salicylic acid because salicylic acid's ability to penetrate into the hair follicle, get into that sebaceous gunk, break it down, and then break down the pimple ultimately.
My number 1 and the number 2 overall is don't just spot treat your acne. And what I mean by that is instead of using the products to prevent acne from coming up, they're waiting until they get an acne bump and then they're using some of those active ingredients to try to get it to go away. And while some of that may help, you're definitely going to be disappointed if that's the way you're responding to acne. You're not going to get that little bump. You're not going to get that nodule to go away the next day or that afternoon or the same day if you're really desperate to get rid of it. The most important role that a lot of these things have in addressing a lot of those causes, those 4 causes that we talked about last week, the oil production, obstruction, bacterial overgrowth, and inflammation. The best role that these things have is as a preventative. It keeps the skin healthy, it keeps it fresh, keeps it from getting occluded, plugged, and inflamed.
Yeah, so one of the things I think about spot treating acne, which I do think it's appropriate to give the extra push, and we've talked about this with your acne spot treatment. So if you're somebody who doesn't break out regularly, you get 1 or 2 pimples, are you gonna put a salicylic acid product into your routine that may be a little bit drying for you because it's breaking down those oils, or are you going to be somebody who ends up spot treating that spot or using just one active ingredient against acne? So the way that I deal with acne breakouts, because I get 1 or 2 pimples every now and then, is that I actually use a retinoid every night, a tretinoin prescription, which is amazing for anti-aging, but it's also really good for acne. And so I'm already basically trying to fight the cause of acne with my topical tretinoin, but I still will every now and then get a pimple. So what do? I spot treat the pimple on top of using the tretinoin with something like a salicylic acid spot treatment, a benzoyl peroxide spot treatment, or even one of these acne patches that they sell where you put the acne dot on the spot, and that gives it that sort of extra kick to try to help that pimple resolve maybe a little bit sooner, try to get you going the right direction. But I still think it's super important to treat the whole area with at least one thing, and then if you want to get an extra push on your active pimples, you can treat on top of that. But just spot treating in general without doing anything else, I don't think you're going to see much progress with that, and you're going to be really frustrated because you'll say, why am I still breaking out? And the number 3 acne mistake I see people making is using products that are just way too stripping to the skin. Something like an astringent, and we'll show some pictures of that, or something with alcohol, a highly alcohol-based toner that's going to be really stripping, drying to the skin. It's going to strip away your natural oils, and I think we're inclined when you have oily skin, especially when I was a teenager, to try to use products that would remove a lot of that oil because I felt like I was oily all the time, that my skin wasn't clean, and so you naturally think that you need to remove oils from your skin, and actually that causes breaks in your skin barrier, which is going to increase inflammation and actually make your acne worse. The other thing is that people with acne tend to have oily skin, but you can have dry skin and acne too, which is frustrating for people, right? So, because it's hard to use these products that are stripping, so you do need to adjust the skincare routine for people that do have sensitive skin and acne at the same time.
It's good, it's good. So fun fact about astringents.
Yeah, tell us about astringents, because a lot of people feel that they need these toners or they need these alcohol-based products. So how did this all start?
Right, so the question is, where did these come from? Why are astringents a part of the skincare routine? Where did this start? So back in the day, astringents were originally used to, in between the cleansing and then actually between the moisturizing stage, or for us like the protect stage. And they were an additional stripping agent to remove some of the soap scum and lye from lye-based soaps, and to remove some of the residue from like extremely hard water. Now, most of us, if not all of us, probably don't use a lot of bar soaps and definitely not lye-based soaps on our face. And the hardness of your water, I'm not sure, but that's not a problem for everybody. So that original role of astringents has kind of been phased out. You don't really need it to remove the soap scum anymore. I recognize that there are a lot of just purely stripping astringents out there. Some of them have concomitant moisturizers. Some of them are trying to deliver more active ingredients to your skin. But with that being said, it seems kind of like the middleman you could cut out, because you're already cleansing with some active ingredients like salicylic acid. And then after that, you're going to put on some active products, active ingredients anyway, along with your moisturizer. So I think astringents are something that can be phased out, and I think that's why a lot of dermatologists really don't recommend them actively, just because it seems like an unnecessary step.
Right, there have been advances in astringents essentially used to be highly stripping, and now they have more astringents or even toners that have active ingredients in them like glycolic acid or salicylic acid, and they tend to be a little bit more gentle, and they do add something to your skincare routine if used properly. And so those products are okay, but there are a lot of products out there still where you see in the acne aisle specifically, they tend to have a lot of alcohol in them.
We're on 4. So number 4 for me is being inconsistent. When you're using these products, this is something you really have to make a part of your life. Using them once a day, twice a day, whatever your schedule is, you need to be using them every day over a period of months to see the net effect and to see the full effect of these medications. You're going to see some benefit within a few days, within a week to some of these things, but really it takes consistent use over a period of months to know whether this is going to help or whether it's going to fail you, or whether you've just kind of failed altogether because you didn't put it on. So if you aren't using the products that you have, you're not going to know whether this medication works for you, and everything is going to underperform.
Yeah, consistency is super important, just kind of like anything in life. It's like exercising, if you don't exercise consistently, you can't expect to see gains. Look at me, I have gains. And you can't expect to see gains if you don't work out every day. So, or at least, consistently 3 times a week, something consistent. But, if you're working out once a month, you can't expect to maintain growth like I do. As everyone knows, I don't ever work out, so I say these things. But basically, yeah, you need to be consistent.
That's a good analogy, actually. So like for people who are trying to get into exercise, they go hard for like a week and then they're done. But guess what? So it's the same thing with the skin. You don't want to use 10 ingredients for a week and just blast your face and then kind of just let it all slide back. Same thing.
Number 5, biggest acne mistake I see people making is that they're not washing their towels, they're not washing their bed sheets, they're not washing their pillowcases. And these are things you're putting all over your face, all over your skin. After you've cleansed your face, you're going back to the same pillow that may have all this kind of gunk gunk that builds up over weeks at a time. So I would say wash these things with a gentle, what's the word, detergent?
Yeah, I think so.
Wash these things with a gentle detergent once a week, and that's gonna have additive benefits when you're treating your acne. So I've even noticed personally, you know, I get really bad back acne, and if I don't wash my sheets every week, it tends to get worse. And I actually do see a noticeable difference if I'm treating my back acne and washing my sheets at the same time. It tends to do the best that it can do. And so definitely something that I overlooked as a teenager, continue to sometimes not be consistent with, but it's something that you can definitely do that won't cost you much. You don't have to buy anything new. You just need to wash your sheets a little bit more, wash your towels a little bit more, and that's just gonna kind of get you closer to where you wanna be.
Yeah, I mean, and all this stuff in your hair, even with some of the moisturizers that you're just putting on your face, all of that gets trapped into the pillowcase especially. And you know, we move when we sleep. It's gonna get rubbed all over your face and it's gonna stay on, and that's 6 to 8 hours to 9 to 10 to 12 hours if you're an extremely lucky individual of just rubbing your face on some film that's been there for days and months.
It's true, it's gross.
Yeah, don't be gross.
That's it. So 5 biggest, if you avoid these, plus you add treatments that are effective against acne, you're gonna see a lot of progress. If you still fail that, come see one of us. We'll help you out best we can. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. More videos like this coming out each week. Thank you for your support, and welcome to everybody who is new to our channel.
The reading rainbow.
That's the secret to good skin.
It's a secret.
Smacking yourself in the face. I actually put like cold
Spoons?
this thing, like not spoons, but they have this thing on Amazon where you kind of put on your eyes to kind of depuff or whatever. Just the cooling will temporarily depuff, you know. And like since we shoot so early in the morning, it helps.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
My chapstick, hold on.
Yeah.
God, no dry lips.
It's a great number.
Skin gains over muscle gains though. All about that life. Skin life.